I am just a man, and this is my story. I'm no better, no worse than those you see here, and if you look into their faces, it's my face you'll see. I thought to effect an illusion of my soul as any man, of any color, from any tribe or any nation. After all, I entered this world just as they did, kicking and screaming, and just like them, my life began with no guarantees other than our Lord's blessings. Both of my parents were raised in what today's standards would consider poverty. They would just say they were poor. But they too were blessed. Met, fell in love, married, worked really hard, and were climbing up by the time I was born. And by now you know that I was born white. But today my pigment has become a problem for 15% of this country. I'm now supposed to feel ashamed and beg forgiveness. And for what? By the time I started kindergarten, my family and our neighbors fell mostly towards the lower end of middle class. And just like all children, I was falling down, laughing, getting up, trying to find my words, and trying to grasp my world. Even before they were married and throughout my early schooling up to my 6th grade, my dad's job remained the same, receiving, distributing, and displaying virtually every published magazine and placing them on racks and shelves in groceries and pharmacies for you to browse and buy. And as for Mom, and on all my official school records, under job description, she would always write stripper. And that was our little joke, and I won't comment. That's her story. However, at 14, I did get my first truck. It was a '58 Ford pickup my dad paid $200 for. It had an antique aftermarket heater that tended to short out and spark. It was a novel winter ride for any unsuspecting passenger who happened to occupy the threadbare bench seat on the passenger side. It had a powder blue custom rust job with a 3 on the tree, and I called her the Blue Moose. But this was no frivolous gift. There was a practical purpose behind its purchase. I mowed lawns, and that it had more than a few made it difficult for my folks from time to time. But with the Moose, I could drive myself to, from, and between my jobs. That I was too young for a license would only spell disaster were I foolish and get caught. My job was important, so until I was legal, I was not foolish. And that brings us finally to the point of my story. With the riots of last summer, and still, my skin and the skin of 72% of all Americans have been deemed as a cancerous tumor, and about half of those have been declared neo-fascist racists that owe the Fraction faction a profound apology plus. Well, I'm sorry, but that's so much bullshit. When anyone paints a picture with such a broad brush, it's always an abstract, a construct. It might be anything and it might be nothing at all. I've read our history though, and I know the terrible events that occurred, but we all live in the 21st century now, and all that horror has been dead almost 10 generations. Except for the few people that I love, I owe absolutely nothing to anyone, and I will not play your hypocrite. But I will offer this. If that gangster path to death ain't really your thing, and you're really a righteous fighter just trying to keep it clean, without shit in your veins or making cash from the same, then man, this earth is yours to take, but it ain't behind that window you think you have to break. It's about sweat and tenacious will if you're looking for those legit $1,000 bills. And it's all up to you, man, but this has got to quit, 'cause now you're just fucking up all your own shit. And brother, you can hate me, but you know it's whack, 'cause I'm just flesh and blood that happened to be born white.